Hack and slash type games have never been my thing. Sure, I've played a fair few, Hyrule Warriors, Diablo 3, but they never really grabbed me. I guess I just didn't understand the point of them. You beat up enemies to get to the next area where the goal is to beat up more enemies? Says the Doom Eternal fan. But in all seriousness, they're just not something I've ever gotten into. So when I wanted to get into another Nintendo franchise, what a better thing to get into than Bayonetta, right guys? Right? Bayonetta came to the Switch digitally a while back, but I only bought it when I found it physically because I'm a goblin who only wants plastic cases that I can hold in my hands. I've always been curious about the aesthetic of the game. The campiness and don't take yourself too serious nature really grabbed my attention. So when I found the game for a cheap price, I figured I'd dive in since I hadn't played anything new in a while. And I have to say, it pleasantly surprised me. I had more fun with this game than I have had with anything in a long time, and I'm here today to share why that's the case. Join me as I give this game infinite praise and still find a way to whine about it!
Why are you like this? Why can't you just enjoy games that you play?
Your Honor, I do enjoy games. That accusation is ludicrous.
Okay, let's do a thought experiment here. You said you love Smash Ultimate, right?
Well, yeah, it's one of my favorite games. I do wish it had less Fire Emblem characters, though.
Death penalty.
Bayonetta is the story of the titular character, an Umbra witch who has to save the world from her father, a member of an opposing clan who plans to resurrect an ancient god. A pretty ambitious plot, but I think it works well, especially because the game doesn't take itself too seriously. There were parts in the story that made me legitimately laugh out loud, especially the part where Bayonetta got crushed by a bus immediately after emoting. Speaking of the story, I was impressed at how well every character was written. The relationship between Bayonetta and Luca is funny yet tense, and Bayonetta's rivalry with Jean is also fun to play through. My favorite part of the story has to be Bayonetta slowly warming up to her younger self, Cereza, who is thrust to the future as an illusion, I guess. Alright kid, don't touch anything in here. I told you! Rodin's little wisecracks are another highlight, especially because you'll visit him often. If a game can get me to not skip a cutscene that's playing for the 50th time, you know they've done something right. Enzo drove me absolutely nuts during all of his screen time though. Couldn't tell you why, he's just irritating and his segments go on for way too long. Still, the story in this game is fantastically fun, and I didn't expect most of its twists and turns. Let's move on to the meat and potatoes, the segment I'm potentially going to whine the most in, the gameplay. And surprise, no whining today. It's an October miracle. I think that the gameplay of Bayonetta is absolutely phenomenal. The game revolves around the weapons Bayonetta acquires, starting with her pistols. You can customize what's on her hands and feet. The more collectible music vinyls you find in levels, the more weapons you unlock. Some are better for close combat, like the Shubara swords, and some are better for long range, like your Scarborough Fair. But all of them are good and serve their purpose. With enough halos, which drop from slain enemies in chests, you can buy a perfume that powers up a specific weapon, which can make you a force to be reckoned with. Depending on what buttons you press and what order, you can execute combos. The game features air combos, ground combos, and demonic executions known as torture attacks that can do big damage, if you fill your magic meter by attacking. You can also buy new moves in the store with enough halos, which can really deepen the gameplay even further. The variety of what you can do is staggering, and I haven't seen an attacking system this deep since I played Doom Eternal. Wonder if those two would be friends.
If you need to learn how to talk to a lady, ask your mum.
Witch time is another core mechanic of the game. If you dodge just at the right moment, you can enter a slowed state where enemies can be easily dispatched by a nice combo or two. It rewards attention and reaction time, and if you haven't mastered it by the end of the game, you don't have those, I guess. There's also animal powers, but those are more situational and I honestly didn't use them much. Still, the combo system in this game is flawless, and I've only just scratched the surface. Please just go play the thing yourself to see what I'm talking about. The enemy variety in this game keeps it feeling pretty fresh, even hours into the game. It ranges from basic angels who are easy to take care of to a literal god who can kill you in one hit if you're not skilled enough. These are the ones that gave me the most trouble, Grace and Glory. They're difficult to deal with if they jump you, but God, are they so fun to fight. The game also features a ton of replayability. Some of the collectibles are locked behind certain achievements or even repeat playthroughs. Hell, you don't even unlock hard mode until after your first clear, and at that point I was close to putting a hole in my TV screen, so that was enough for me. Okay, time to whine for a bit. This game features way too many non-fighting segments. Like, I'm pretty sure I could graduate college in the time it took me to complete the missile section, and God forbid I die and have to restart it. It's such a shame that these segments take so long, because they kinda stain the levels that they're in. This is basically the only complaint I have here though, which is rare. Usually the whole time I'd be moaning and groaning. I'm gonna give Bayonetta 1 a solid rating of 8 out of 10. Some of the segments drag on and on, but everything else is very well done, from the boss fights to the combat system to even the writing, which isn't the first thing I expect to be well done in a hack and slash. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I don't dislike this genre. In fact, I'm gonna get into new types of games right now. I'm giving everything a chance, starting with Farming Simulator 2023, baby!
Your soybeans are done growing. Come on over and harvest them.
Okie dokie. I'm in agony.